Hey everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we are working on something that has been bothering me for about 2 years. So George is here helping out, supervising our work. Well, 2 years ago I put up a ceiling fan, and let me show you what I did. So we had a 3-light ceiling fan originally from the 80s. Somebody had put it up at some point, not original from the builders who did anything in the house. So since he wasn't home, I went ahead with my reinstall and just did everything alike. Now the problem with this was the frosted glass and 2 light bulbs, and it was a dark walnut finish for the fan blades. So we could have stained oak or roasted walnut, and the stained oak didn't match the oak finish on the cabinets. So with the new fan, I have the reversible blades also, and it's American walnut and gray walnut, so it's going to be a perfect match for this. I apologize for the kids. They're yelling at Dad up in the attic because they think it's great. We have 4 lights going in here, so that'll give me quite a bit more light. I'm not as much a fan of this hanging down style of fan mount as I was the flush mount. This is what really sold me on this fan because of the dust that gets collected in fans, but this one seems to have a lot more openings for airflow here. So I'll just have to keep that top part cleaned off, you know, it's the way it goes. But these were a lot further spaced out, and there is about 2 fan openings for every 3 to 4 openings on this one. So I think we'll get better airflow on this as well. So this is what we found out, and this is why I wanted to make a video about this. And you can see that there is a cross piece for a 2x4 right there. Well, they didn't quite know what to do about it. We have trusses up in the attic. So they just tacked up this 1x piece of board into that 2x4. And then they did not have an electrical box for the wiring at all. This is what was sticking out. And I said to them, I don't know where this wire is coming from. We need to get a box up there. So we went and picked up a box. We have a deep box and a regular depth box also, because we didn't know which one we were going to need. Now this style has a knockout for the wires to go through, and it will also clamp down and hold the wires. Well, he got up there, and there is a plastic junction box up there, and that's where all your wires come together. So the wires from this switch go to this light and up and over to here. There's another light under here that's on another switch, and then these are on a separate switch also. So we didn't know why we were looking at bare wires, and I said to him, you better get up there and check it out. So this is what he found. My ground wire was not connected to anything, and our other wires were just kind of taped together, sitting in that plastic box. I don't think that there was any wire nuts under here at all. I don't feel anything. Let's open it up and see. Let's see what a good job they did. So in old houses, there weren't ground wires. We came across that in our old houses. So you got to have ground wires to protect yourself. It can basically charge your electric box or charge the fixture so that you touch it and you're not ground and you get electrocuted. So we wanted to make sure things are done up right. There is Romex up there that has a ground wire from the fuse box, and there is a ground outside of the house, which is, if you're unfamiliar, a metal rod going down into the ground. They also refer to it as earthing. It's really neat to learn about things like earthing. I knew about grounding, but there's a whole thing about grounding your body and walking around barefoot outside. They did a lot of tape on these. You have the wire strippers? No wire strippers. I don't know where they are. Got them. Oh, are they with jack stuff or outside or? Probably with jack stuff. Well, so at one point this was attached to something, but no longer. I gotta go find some wire cutters for him. Some wire strippers. Okay, so this is what I found. Basically, this whole set of wiring is a pigtail system that they put in to get from the main wiring to the ceiling fan that they put in. This was not put in by an electrician, and if it was, he needs to be fired, and if I'm sure there's licensing, it needs to be yanked. Anyways, these people, we always say they're a joke, that we bought everything from here. So this is solid wire if you're unfamiliar, and this is called strand wire. And they just twisted them together, bent it over, and covered it in tape. No wire nuts at all. Plastic junction box. I have a hardwire smoke detector, and they put it in also. And you know, one of the first things we did was add extra fire extinguishers and extra smoke alarms in our house. I'm a big fusser about fire safety. So he's up there doing this right. I'm going to hand up the camera to my son, who is also up in the attic with his dad, and he can show you what is going on up there.
Hello everybody, I am Murdoch, and right now me and Daddy are up in the attic, and we're replacing the ceiling fan.
We're adding a junction box, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. When this house was built, there was no junction box for the ceiling fan. So we're up in the attic, making one.
Run to the wires, and all they did was tape the ends of the wires together. That's not acceptable.
Now, as you can see on the floor, there is no floor. There's just crossboards, and we can still get around everything, but you can't see all the boards because there's insulation on top of them instead of just putting insulation in the ceiling. So what are you doing right now?
Right now, we're wire nutting the Romex from the breaker box to the Romex in the junction box. It's going to go to another box for the ceiling fan. So we're going to wire nut them together. They can't come apart. Then we're going to tape them. They can't come apart. And then we're going to put a cover on the top of the box so nothing can touch them.
You can use short screws or long screws.
You got long ones?
It says,
Did it come with them? Okay, get them.
says use these long screws for wood.
No, we're going into a junction box.
Well, they didn't give us long ones for long. It
Okay.
says that for wood or something else for short, but
Maybe these will reach. Because we're going into a proper junction box. No, these won't reach. The box isn't quite tall enough.
you mean you got it up high instead of...
It ended up being a little higher, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Well, can't you just use some
So
washers?
we need the screws that come with a porcelain light that are longer to steal them out of a porcelain light.
So he has got the new electric box or mounting box all in place, and we have started in on the fan. For us, there's a mounting bracket, the down rod attached to the actual fan motor unit, and those wires, see how long they are? They make them extra long so that if you are hanging it from a tall ceiling with extended down rod, you can add like 2 or 3 feet for a down rod on this, and they also give you a shorter one also, so that if you want it shorter than what's standard there, I think that's probably 3 or 4 inches. So they suggest you trim it down there and connect your wiring. So in our case, it's blue and black are going to go together, the white to white, and green is your ground. And that's because we're on a single switch unit. It's different wiring if you have a double switch, like, you know, from another side of the room. We've only got the single switch in this case. So it's coming along really nice. This is how it's going to look all complete with the 4. And they did have this in an antique brass. If you saw a video about a week ago, I was starting in on it, and I thought it'd just be a day project, not knowing about the electrical problem. I opened it up and I accidentally bought the antique brass or modern brass unit, so we returned it and got it swapped, so that was a delay. Speaking of electrical problem, when he started in on this and we were taking out the old work.
Hey, you want to show it on your movie?
Well, I showed the wires and stuff, but I didn't show what you pulled out of there.
Huh?
They had stuffed a rag up in the ceiling to block any draft and whatever with all of their wiring. So an unattached ground wire, everything stuffed up there, kind of, you know, jerry-rigged as they call it. It was just a very unsafe mess, and that's why I stopped and waited for him, because when I started looking at it, I thought, this is not a great setup. And yes, I just kind of ignored it all before because of time crunch and getting the job done. But I had to call in the pro, so.
It's safe now.
We're getting all kinds of projects done around here lately. Wintertime, we're not having to be outside doing, you know, days and days worth of hay and other jobs. It's a day project here and a day project there, and we are just killing it. I don't know if you saw that. He puts his wire nuts on and he tapes his wire nuts. That way they can't come loose, that there's not going to be an issue later on down the road with anything like that. And all those get tucked up real nice and neat up into that box.
Mommy!
I have to put this in the video and show you what happened when I was just shutting off the camera and telling about him tucking in the wires all nice and neat. I realized that the next step, they tell you to do the wiring. They don't tell you to put the canopy on. They kind of have that backwards in the book. So he's taking it back down, his beautiful tape job, because this has to be on there before you set it up. Little minor.
What's it got for screws?
Those tiny little set screws right there. It's going sideways.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, a little small error in their thing. They're telling you to do the wiring, but they should have told you to put this on first. And I went ahead and pre-assembled all of our fan blades here, so they're all set to go. He was saying that if it was just him, he would just put a porcelain light on a pull string, you know, like an old house with a closet light or a basement light kind of deal. Does it give you enough room to work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said his plan was, before I came along, to live in a insulated reefer trailer. You know, like for hauling groceries, cooled goods.
Oh, the wood stove and the window where the reefer was. That's how you do it.
And I laughed. I said, I had nothing to do with buying your first house. I didn't tell him to buy a house. I was there, but it's funny.
That is a little harder to do this now, but not bad.
Yeah.
Most people would probably notice that, but I didn't.
As soon as he got it all done, ready to tuck it up there, I thought, well, you gotta cover it up. Shoot! So minor setback, 5 minutes. All right, hop down. Bevy. Good little Bevy. Yeah. Hold on. What are you doing?
Helping.
Well, that's not going to help. It's going to fall out.
Put your screwdriver against it.
That's what I'm trying to
I'll
do.
hold the end up for you and be good.
Yeah, I'm not there.
I got it. Oh,
Would you?
You putting the brakes on now?
no.
Yes.
Stands over. What? Huh?
They said you're funny. I think that's why I had you do that.
We'll torque them.
Yeah. Whoa! Oh, way down one side. Let's see the other side.
I know.
But the straight screwdriver is no good right now. It's to slide off the end. So you do the fast.
Ow!
When you loose,
Yes.
I turned around.
oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's actually easier for down here.
I've been like overtired, over-caffeinated today, and I was feeling my head. Stop. Unplug it right now, Bethany. Unplug it. He'll break the whole thing. Hmm? Various places. Sorry, I'll sit on the bed. Okay. That's Murdoch what he's picking out of the freezer for dinner tonight. I see. They give you this if you aren't going to have.
Which movie? Which one is it? What's it about? Oh, are they fixing something? Huh? What's it about? Tractors? Oh, that Western? Yeah. You like it?
There's one, the rifleman, where he's got a boy, and he's out in the west. It's like the toughest badass in town, and they, like, when something goes down, he tells the sheriff, go back to the office and watch my son, you know, and he handles it. Because the sheriff's a coward.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, that'll go with the cabinet and things there. Girls what?
Now you gotta go back. Now you gotta go to Dodge and get your money back. Okay,
No.
'cause right now you own two, right? Right now he had to own two. Okay, straight screwdriver. Get them torque down. Yeah, that's that one.
Yeah,
Perfect.
good one.
Oh!
What? Oh, don't lift it off of that
Lift it right
thing.
up. 2, 3, 4, 5,
Ah. Yeah.
7. How many legs do they have?
4. We're upgrading.
Not 5, like 5 blades? I guess it doesn't really matter.
Well, most of them only had 3. If it had a globe, it was too light.
Alright, how do you hook them?
Well, I was just wondering. Oh, I see. Oh, I probably just did that wrong, didn't I? Which one's right?
Oh, there's got to be a framework that goes in the center. Must be, yeah, right there. No, not the cap.
Maybe he wants you for cuddling.
Yeah, he wants to cuddle.
Film quality in the kitchen will improve because we're going to double our lights.
Is it 460?
Yeah. Now there's a plug. Yeah. Okay. Drop down there like that. Okay. Well, it said to go clockwise, not counterclockwise. I know. You think it'll be quieter because it's floating on that little thing?
Mm.
The other one just had a slight noise. That
Can you push up on that? Pushing on that one. Or maybe.
a magnetic screwdriver would come in handy. I just broke my toe on that chair leg. It's constant. Okay, we gotta figure out which one goes where. Hey Jack, could you go turn the breaker back on for us? Go turn the breaker on? Hmm?
Looks good. Kind of loose on the socket.
It doesn't tell you which one's which, so you're going to have to figure it out.
I'll just wait. So... That's the light.
So just so you all know, for safety, we had the breaker off in the basement. We just got it turned back on, and their instructions don't tell you which pull cord goes to which one.
Oh, there's a reverse switch somewhere I saw.
It's on this side. Watch your head. You're awful high here. Wow!
That'll do it.
There we go. Wow. Tons of light now. Yay! You can't see it so bright. See?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And look,
More light than we had originally.
I hadn't planned it out, but with there being 4 light bulbs, this is a problem I had before. There were 3 light bulbs, and they were all facing in the wrong direction, so not one of them would light up my stovetop. And I wanted lights going around, because if you have a light facing directly at the stovetop, you've got a light behind you, you're going to have a shadow. So you see my shadow here? Well, I turn on that light, that is going to disappear. So see, Much less shadow. Thank you. Thank you for doing that for us. We can see now. Everybody's excited. So that's putting up and installing a new ceiling fan. Remember to use safety, use caution. If you don't know what you're doing, call somebody else in, because you don't always have to hire a professional. We're huge DIYers. We're terribly frugal, and we always try to do everything we can on our own. If I don't know how to do it, he does. So that's it today, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.